Good morning. Today we are going to study chapter number 1, computer story. As like our story, everybody have their own story. Like computer has their own story. In this story, we will study about the generation of the computer. Yes, generations of the computer. So before starting this story, I will discuss you about the meaning of generation. Generation means the period of time. In every house, there are different generations of people. Your grandfather belongs to a different generation, your father to a different generation, and you belong to a different generation. If I'm talking about you, you belongs to the latest generation. As the generation progressed, the devices that were used by people also become increasingly advanced. So here in this we are going to I'm going to show you a different generations and the item they used in their own time period. Here in this picture you can see that your grandfather, they used wooden pen and ink for writing. What? Letter. Yes, at that time the people used to convey the people used letter to convey their message from one another. But at the generation of your father, people used landline phone to talk with each other. They distantly talk with the help of landline phone while making the calls from one place to another. Now, at the time of your generation, if I will talk about your generation, you know very well how you talk with each other and how you will communicate with each other. The cell phone, or you can say the smartphone, replaces the landline phones anywhere. Here, you can talk to any people in this world while sitting anywhere. Second, you can communicate with the help of instant messaging such as WhatsApp. You can do video calls, etc. In your generation, one more famous thing is computer. Computer for doing calculation and many other things. With the help of computer, you are doing so many things. The first thing which you are doing with the help of computer, I know what is your answer. Playing games, movies, etc. But nowadays, computer is also replaced by the smartphones. Whatever the things you are doing on the computer, you can do in your smartphone. Am I correct? Yes. But on smartphone, we are doing only limited work. But on computer, we can do any work in details. So after that, I'm going to talk about the generation of computers and the component used in their periods. In the same way, there have been different generations of computer. Maybe you don't have idea about it. The first generation computer is of the size of room. 1940 to 1956. This is the time period of the first generation of computer where we use vacuum tubes. In the first generation computer, they use vacuum tubes which is very large in size. These were slow and generated a lot of heat. The examples of the first generation computer were UNIVAC, ENIAC, IBM 701 and IBM 650. Here see in this table the vacuum tubes they were used for first generation computer. Now let us discuss about the second generation of computer. In the second generation computer, use of transistors and was smaller in size and faster in speed. These use magnetic tapes and punch cards to store data. The examples of second generation computer are IBM 7090, IBM 7094, UNIVAC 1108. Now, if we talk about the third generation of computer, here we use first time integrated circuit. In the 1964 to 1971, in this period, the third generation computer used integrated circuit, or we known as ICs. These were smaller and faster and could do more complex work. IBM 370 is an example of third generation of computer. Now, in this period, I mean to say from 1971 to this period, we are using microprocessors, which comes in fourth generation of computer. Fourth generation computers use microprocessor and are lightweight and faster. Currently we are using fourth generation of computer. These are personal computers, PCs like IBM system and HP 3000. Now if we talk about the future which comes in the fifth generation of computer, from the present and beyond, we are studying about the artificial intelligence which have a artificial memory, which they can do their work by own self. Maybe they have emotions, they can perform so many work by their own self. Only we need to give command to them. These are still in the development stage. These will take decision based on store data. Microprocessors were developed using very large scale integration VLSI, which combined thousands of transistor based circuits into a single chip. And slowly, nowadays we are using ninth generation of microprocessor. Computers can be classified on the basis of their size and speed. Why we are talking about size and speed? You can compare your current PC into the smartphone. Which you will prefer more, a desktop PC or smartphone? I know most of them will prefer smartphone. Why? Easy to carry, you can carry anywhere. But if we talk about the computer PC, you will think twice before carrying from one place to another because it contains so many peripheral devices. Likewise, monitor, speakers, CPU, keyboard, mouse, etc. So it is quite difficult to carry here and there. So maybe everyone will prefer the smaller size computer. Another smaller size of computer, example of the smaller size of computer is laptop. People used to carry laptop in place of desktop computers. Why? Because laptop are easy to carry and it has similar specification or speed as compared to desktop computers. So we will discuss it later. Now we are going to discuss about the microcomputers. Microcomputers are smaller computers whose CPU is a microprocessor which contained on a single integrated circuit chip. These computers are also called personal computer. The major types of these are desktop, laptop and handheld tablet PC smartphone computers. Workstation. What is workstation? Workstation is like a personal computer, but it has a more powerful microprocessor and in general a higher quality monitor. The latest trend in computing is wearable computers. Common computer applications like email, multimedia, calendar, scheduler are integrated into watches, cell phones, clothing, belt, backpacks, handbag, etc., which have microprocessor chip embedded into them. I know that most of you have think about the smartwatches. Do you know what smartwatches can do? Smartwatches can do most of the work which you are doing in your smartphone. They can click your photos. From there you can make call to anyone. You can listen songs. You can send messages, etc. Mini computers. Mini computers come into existence in 1960s. Those days, mainframe computers were very expensive. Mini computers were powerful and available at a reasonable price. So users switched over to them. The mini computer has become less important since the PC has become so powerful on its own. The present day, the PC is much more powerful and compact than the mini computer. Mini computers are normally referred to as mid-range server now. Mainframe computers. Mainframe are huge computers that can occupy an entire room or even a whole floor. A mainframe can accommodate many users at a time. Terminals are used to connect a user to this computer. A terminal is a device which has a keyboard and a screen integrated together. By using a terminal, each user can give inputs into the computer and get the output on his/her monitor. The mainframes are normally referred to as enterprise servers. So, if we talk about a server, do you know what is the meaning of server? Now next, supercomputers. As the name communicates, supercomputer specifies these are the most powerful computers. A supercomputer uses multiple CPUs to work on a problem using the concept of a parallel processing. Parallel processing is the simultaneously use of more than one CPU to execute a program. Supercomputers are used for highly calculation intensive tasks such as weather forecasting, climate research like global warming, physical simulation, such simulation of flying of aeroplanes, nuclear energy research and petroleum exploration. Nowadays, people are use supercomputer to do research on the vaccination of coronavirus. Latest trend, Param Yuva second, which is claimed to be India's fastest supercomputer, which has been developed and launched by Center for Development of Advanced Computing CDAC. This new supercomputer is expected to be useful in research labs, in aircraft design, and in areas like weather forecasting, seismic data analysis, and scientific data processing. Now it's a revision time. So here I'm going to give you a quick idea of what we have studied till now. First, we have studied about the first generation of computer, which is used vacuum tubes, and this computer takes an area of full room. Second generation of computer use transistors. Third generation computer use integrated circuits. Fourth generation computer use very large scale integrated circuits, which is known as microprocessor. That means in a small area they are providing so many integrated circuits. In fifth generation computers are being developed to use the concept of artificial intelligence. Microcomputers are small computers whose CPU is a microprocessor contained on a single integrated chip circuit. Now if we talk about the supercomputer, supercomputer uses multiple CPUs to work on a problem using the concept of parallel processing. Parallel processing is the simultaneous use of more than one CPU to execute program. After that, it's your duty to complete the worksheet, and these worksheets we will discuss in the next class. Hope